Okay, so let's paint a picture. Imagine it's February 1969. It's freezing cold.
Right.
And you've got Waylon Jennings and Merle Haggard, these two absolute titans of country music, sitting across from each other at a poker table.
Hmm. Smoke in the air, you can almost feel the tension.
Exactly. And, for guys like them, poker wasn't just some casual game. It was like a test of nerve.
A ritual, almost.
Yeah, a ritual where fortunes and maybe more could just completely turn on a dime.
And we really need to understand where Waylon was at mentally right then. The
Hmm.
context is just, well, it's devastating.
Tell us about that.
Just before this game, just before, tragedy struck his band. A horrific accident.
Oh, man.
One band member killed, another badly hurt. Waylon himself wasn't on that specific trip, but the shock, the loss,
Mhm.
it absolutely shattered him.
And that grief, the sources tell us this, piled right on top of a drug problem that was already spiraling.
Exactly. So you've got pain, guilt, confusion. It's all building up. He was struggling.
So that famous outlaw image, that tough exterior.
Inside, he was, well, as he put it later in his autobiography, he was barely holding it together.
Wow. Barely holding it together. And then he sits down for this high-stakes poker game.
And the stakes were incredibly high for him personally. He walked in with, what, $4,000 or $5,000?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And this wasn't spare change. This was money he desperately needed.
It was supposed to carry him through, these incredibly hard times he was already facing. A lifeline, really.
And then he loses it all.
Every single cent. To Merle Haggard and his manager, Fuzzy Owens, they basically cleaned him out.
But for Waylon, this wasn't just losing at cards, was it? It felt like much more.
Oh, absolutely. He was grieving. He was vulnerable, maybe visibly so.
Yeah.
And he walked away convinced they saw that weakness.
That they saw him hurting and, well, took advantage.
Whether they meant to or not, that's how he felt. He used that phrase, didn't he? They hit a man when he was already down.
That's powerful.
Mhm.
And it really raises questions, about trust and camaraderie, even among people supposedly in the same boat.
For Waylon, the sting, it wasn't just the money, not really. It was the timing of it all.
The timing hitting him right then.
Yeah, and the sense of betrayal. That feeling like, okay, even in this world, this supposed brotherhood of outlaws, there's no safe place when you're down.
Feeling exposed, taken advantage of by someone he considered, a peer.
Exactly. And that feeling, that specific feeling from that night, it seems like it really stuck with him, left a deep mark.
So this story, it's clearly more than just a dramatic anecdote about a poker game gone wrong.
Definitely. It became symbolic, didn't it? For both of them, maybe, but especially for Waylon.
Symbolic of what, do you think?
Well, the sources really suggest it came to represent that intense loneliness, the paranoia that can come with fame, especially when you're also battling addiction and grief.
Right. So that's what we want to explore in this deep dive today. How did this single intense poker game become this really poignant symbol for these two legends?
It's a fascinating intersection of fame, friendship, hardship, and maybe survival.
Okay, so we've got the scene. Waylon, at rock bottom, losing everything he had to Merle and Fuzzy Owens. That's the core event.
Right. But now let's try and add a little nuance, maybe see it from a slightly different angle.
Hmm.
What about Merle Haggard's side?
That's important. Did Waylon ever acknowledge Merle's position?
He did, actually. Later on, Waylon himself admitted that Merle wasn't exactly riding high himself back then.
Ah, okay, so Merle had his own struggles.
Yeah, Merle was still fighting hard to make his mark in Nashville, trying to break through properly.
Hmm.
He probably needed that money pretty badly himself.
So it makes you wonder, Red, maybe it wasn't personal against Waylon.
Perhaps not. Maybe for Merle, it was just survival, doing what he felt he had to do in a really tough, cutthroat business.
That perspective definitely complicates the narrative, doesn't it? It's not just black and white.
Not at all. You've got these two huge figures, these legends, sitting in the same table,
Both her.
both hurting in their own ways, dealing with their own pressures. And neither one really walks away clean, emotionally or financially.
It just shows the harsh realities, I guess, the complex human stuff that goes on even between people you'd think would have each other's backs.
Absolutely. Even within that shared struggle for fame, for success, these dynamics play out.
And what did Waylon ultimately take away from it? Did that night change him?
Well, according to Waylon himself, it left a lasting impression. He recovered, of course, like he often did from setbacks, but he never forgot that game.
What was the lesson for him?
He said something really profound, that sometimes the toughest losses aren't about the cards you're dealt in poker.
Okay.
They come when you truly realize who's sitting across the table from you. That realization.
Wow, that hits deep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's more than just about poker or country music.
it really is.
It makes you think, doesn't it? About vulnerability, about trust, how fragile it can be.
And how challenges can pop up in places you least expect, even within alliances you thought were solid.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. What really defines a tough loss in your own life?
Is it the actual thing you lose, the tangible thing? Or is it that deeper, maybe harder realization about the people involved, the dynamics at play?
Something definitely worth thinking about.